Hi there, I'm Suzanne, your friendly Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada. Welcome to my monthly paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. I share 5 alternative ways to use the kit in this video, and I sell the products I feature as well. I hope you enjoy my free video tutorial and would love to see you sign up with me as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Visit sunstampin.com for more information. All right, welcome to the Paper Pumpkin alternative video for July 2019. Just wanted to show you a little bit what's in the kit. It does let you know that Paper Pumpkin is coordinating with some of the suites in the annual Stampin' Up catalog. So of course we get a beautiful stamp set and pretty peacock, which is the ink color, and these were the projects that we were supposed to make. And of course, all of these components here I used alternatively. So if you didn't like what was in the kit or you just wanted to make something different, you can. And of course, I do want to take a moment here and just say, I'm so sorry that it's late. I had a really busy month and something had to give. So I've actually stopped blogging for this week so that I can get this video out for you. Okay, so these are the components that I'm using today. This, I have a Whisper White thick card base here. I'm cutting down one of the green stripy card bases so that I can get a card front out of it. The stripy bit is a card front, and then I think I used about 1.25 inches of the dark green. Then I cut one of the sentiments, gold foil sentiments, off, like I cut the edges off so that it would be straight, and then I actually cut the gold foil off on both sides. So this is a little trick if you've never done this before, to put a little washi tape on your very thin strip of paper so that you can cut it with the trimmer accurately, because sometimes the trimmer has a tendency to sort of bung up. Anyway, so I've cut out the gold stripes. Now I'm just putting the card together. Super simple card. So there goes my stripy background. I put adhesive on it stupidly before I should have. So I have this non-porous surface here, or non-stick surface here on my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm just going to firstly adhere that green stripe, pull it up, cut off the excess, and then plunk it on my Whisper White thick card base. And then once that's on, I'm going to use my little gold foil strips, and I put glue on this one first, centered it in the green little lane there, and then I got glue all over myself. I quite like the wet glue, but I tell you, it squeezes out and gets all over my fingertips. So, so I'm just trying to adhere that straight. I'll cut off the excess here, and then I will put a little bit of adhesive right in the center there, and then with the linen twine that's in the case, I'm going to wrap it around 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1 finger, and make a kind of like a messy nest, but more of an organized messy nest, if you will. And I'm going to, contain those little ends in and snip off that end. Now I've put dimensionals on my sailboat, and that is going front and center. And then I did put this little ring on my wheel. I don't know what that's called, a steering wheel, right? But I ended up putting half of it back on because I can't make a decision, obviously. So I put the wheel on the boat, and then Happy Birthday is what I stamped on this little banner piece. Cut off a little bit of that banner, and then sort of put a little bit of adhesive, and then stuck it in my sailboat. so that you don't see a rough edge. And then I flipped up the banner pieces, folded the card in half, and that is my first alternative card. And I have stills for you that I have 3 different stills for you, and I hope that you stay tuned to the very end, because I do have some more stills for you as well. All right, card number 2. This was crazy. Like, I'm really outdoing myself, I tell you, in these videos. So I have Whisper White thick card base. I'm ripping apart an envelope, and I've cut down the envelope to a size that I can't remember, but I will show you the sizing on the video here in a moment. And I think, yeah, I had some trouble with my trimmer, so I ended up having to change the blade out. Okay, so here's a piece of Whisper White. I've slowed this down. Whisper White, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then that envelope, 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Then another piece of Whisper White, 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Then this piece, 3 by 4 1/4. This green piece, 2 1/2 by 3 1/4, and a little piece of Whisper White, 2 3/8 by 3 1/8. Pause the video if you want to, get those measurements down. All right, so I'm taking these 2 Whisper White pieces, the bigger ones. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive kind of in the middle there, and then hold them 2 together. Then I'm going to bring out my stamping mat, because it's going to offer me a little extra cushion. And using my large pad of Pretty Peacock, I'm stamping off on just some scratch paper, and then stamping on the 2 edges. You can see what I don't even know what this technique is called, but it's cool. So now I'm on that smaller piece. I'm going to apply that envelope that I cut apart. See, it's all coming together, folks. And then I'm going to adhere that matted piece right to my larger Whisper White. Now, doesn't that look sharp? Isn't that fun? Just amazing with ink and paper. All right, so here is that busy, I don't even know, check pattern. Is it a check? It's Harlequin almost. So, and then I had an itch on my hand. And then, okay, so these 2. And I adhered my Whisper White piece wrong. So then I had to rip it off again. And I just want to show you, I make errors a lot. That's, but it's called creative editing, folks. And, I look like I'm doing everything perfectly, but I'm not. I just edit it out. So now I'm going to adhere this properly. And then I'm going to tie a little bit of linen thread around. And, it's really difficult for me to tie bows on camera, and also with the kitties staring directly at me. So a lot of times I go and tie the bow underneath my desk, and then I bring it back up to show you how pretty the bow is. But really, I'm doing it sort of under my desk so that the cats don't get at it. So that's part of the reason why I don't share with you the bow tying technique. You know how to tie a bow, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I've stamped the Hello Friend in my Peacock ink, and now I'm adhering these little green leaves, old olive, I think it's old olive leaves, I'm not sure. I don't know what color that is. And then what I did was I took my little ink pad here and this bushel of whatever, and I inked it up fully and completely with my peacock color. So I let it dry. Don't touch it until it's dry, kids. And then so now I have just, it's like a darker berry bushel kind of, I don't even know what to call it. Or it's a twig. So my dark peacock twig and my green leaves. There we are. That's the centerpiece. I'm going to put a dimensional adhesive on the back and taking the release paper off. And then I'm going to put that on cattywampus on my, this is still a card front. I haven't even attached it to the card yet. Trimming the bow tails, and now I'm attaching it to the Whisper White thick card base. So how many layers is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers, kids. 7-layer card. All right, and for whatever reason, I'm using just the bottom half of my Take Your Pick tool. You know, I've had jet lag when I got back, and you know, sometimes I just couldn't be bothered with big things, so I was using lots of small things. No, I have not been drinking. Okay. All right, and I did want to take a minute here and let you know, if you like my paper pumpkin videos, then you are absolutely going to love my online class. You can register today for a holiday themed mega class. I'm working with Sarah Fleming from Prepare to Die Paper Crafts. This is what you get: stamp set dies, 48 sheets of 6x6 beautiful gold foiled paper, 12 gold foil card fronts. You get like 7 sticker sheets of like gold foiled deer and gold foiled trees and banners and tinsel trim and adhesive back stars. Are you kidding me? Plus, Sarah and I are doing 12 videos to go along with this. This is why it's the mega class. So here's a couple of examples. And I would love for you to sign up with me today. For those of you who are Canadian, please go to this website. For the Americans, go to that website. We want you to register. You don't have to pay until, you know, later. Anyway, moving on to card number 3. This is probably my favorite card. This is a Whisper White thick card base. I'm inking up the You've Been on My Mind sentiment with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I have, let's see, I think it is mint macaron, and I've stamped off on some of the medallions, and this is Pretty Peacock, and I also stamped off on some of the medallions. And it was a thing that I used to do years ago, where I just stamped on the back of the page too. So I kind of did that here, just with a faint one. And I don't think there's any rule saying that you can't go over the crease line. So this is a super simple card, and it's probably my favorite one out of the whole bunch. I use the adhesive back sequins, and I love this card. Simple. I like simple. I like 1-layer cards too. You don't have to have 7 layers to create a card. You can just do 1. So I like this one. Maybe it's the medallion. Okay, moving on to card number 4. This is pretty simple. I'm taking apart an envelope. This is I think it's the mint macaron stripy envelope here. And I don't mind taking apart an envelope. I know that I can get just a plain white one, or I can, you know, put an insert of something. Like, it doesn't bother me. I will use every bit of this kit to create alternatives, and especially if it's something that color that I like. And I really like the mint macaron on these stripy. They look very nautical to me. All right, so I'm stamping the You've Been on My Mind in one of the sentiment badges, I guess you call it, and I put a whole bunch of dimensionals on the back. So here I am adhering my stripy piece to my Whisper White thick card base. And of course, I think it's just 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then my sentiment piece goes down, and then I'm using glue dots. And I'm adhering the leaves, but I'm going to adhere them on the white side. Now, if I was thinking about it, now I think it's a great idea, but I could be using my Wink of Stella and zhuzhing those leaves up a little bit. I could have put fine tip glue pen on that as well to make them shiny. You could use the shimmer paints to coat them and create, you know, like it could be a very sparkly card. I missed out on the sparkle, guys. So here's my little weird bushel, and I had to trim down the end because it wouldn't fit underneath. I had too many dimensionals. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so I've just put 3 of my sequins, and there is my 4th card. Okay, moving on to card number 5. I think I've done this technique before. Here I have a Whisper White thick card base. I'm just using my adhesive of choice, which happens to be pretty much one of my last fast fuses. I don't know what I'm going to do without it. And I've coated on a diagonal about half of the card base. So now all these extra little pieces that I got from trimming down the envelopes or the papers or left over from when I punched out the printed die cuts, that sort of thing. That was especially one of them. Yeah, they're all different sizes, and I'm just adhering them to the card base. Because it came from the same kit, they all kind of have the same feel, right? It's a little different. It's a little, I don't know. To me, it kind of reminds me of those funky wooden floors that you find in really old houses that, what they call parquets. Now here's one, I used 2 sentiment strips here, and I had to adhere it together. So I know that my sentiment has to kind of go over that so you don't see the seam. So that's the reason why I chose to put my sentiment where I did. All right, so I'm almost finished covering. I do have to extend this guy a little bit. I'm going to take my big scissors, and this is how, you know, sometimes my scissors get all gooey. I'm not surprised, right? Okay, so cutting off the excess, and then I did clean up a little, and then here is another sentiment piece. It says happy birthday in gold foil. Really like that gold foil edging. It looks fantastic. I've popped that up on dimensionals, and I did adhere it to my card front right off the bat. I actually really like this design. I like those sideways stripes. It's different, and you know, like it's not shocking, but it's different. We all like being different. Okay, and then I did one last thing. I took a strip of Whisper White out of my stash. Usually when I cut down card front pieces, I have these little strips. I just keep them in a jar on my desk, and now I'm stamping that medallion kind of cattywampus, not the same over and over, but giving it a little bit of a twist or a turn. And here is yet another strip. I'm putting adhesive on the back. On the second hand, I shouldn't have used so much adhesive. I'm an adhesive waster. I need help. I should go to a self-help group. All right, so there is my 5th card. Now, nice stills. I hope you stick around to the end, but it's not the end yet because I I really love you guys, and you waited so long, so I'm giving you a bonus video. So this is super cool. Yet I'm ripping apart another envelope, and this is very reminiscent of the Sailing Home stamp set dies and designer series paper. So, and they were talking about coordination and how this paper pumpkin kit can coordinate with, you know, some other products in the catalog. So this one coordinates very nicely with the Sailing Home suite. All right, so you can see what I've done here, wrapped the linen twine around twice. Here is my little anchor, and I'm just tying a little knot on it. There's no glue dot holding it together. It's just the twine. And then I actually decided to use the edge of an envelope here. So I had more paper left over, and that is a stitched shaped die. You could just punch it out with a punch if you had. I adhered that next, and then I placed a little bit, I put some dimensional adhesive on the sailboat, and then I brought in one of those steering boat wheels. I don't know what they're called. Steering wheel for a boat, and then place that over my circle, and then place my boat over the steering wheel. It's all coming together. And then I have another sentiment piece, and I stamped happy birthday. And then, of course, I seasoned the stamp a little bit here. And yeah, added a few adhesive back sequins to this card. And this is a nice masculine card. I kind of love it. And because you guys are so awesome, and I truly love you for being positive, you know, thumbs up and comments, you guys rock. I want to invite you to my newest online class, which features the Sailing Home bundle, which is similar to this class or this card. So if you stay tuned, I will show you some of the examples that I've come up with in that card class. And let me tell you, it is a phenomenal class. So if you haven't got that sailing bundle, you're going to want to get it. And basically, to sign up for the class doesn't cost you any more than purchasing the bundle. You just purchase it with me. That's all. And you get a free gift. You get the trinkets for free. And you get videos. How-to videos. Like this one. So sign up today, Canadians. Go to this website. Americans, go to that one. And I thank you so very much for your patience of this video. I appreciate you so very much. All of your kind words are fantastic. You make me go and do, and I really want to do well for you guys. So thank you so very much again, and bye for now. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf for my blog, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.